Hello YouTube. I want to talk today a little bit about GitHub and pull requests in GitHub. Pull request is that gating mechanism for when you want to add new code to a repository. What happens when you open a pull request is you can commit, right? You can check in your work one or more times to the same pull request, and that gives folks a chance to review your work before it gets merged into the main branch. There's also a whole ecosystem of GitHub actions. These are basically different scripts and tooling that you can bring to bear on your pull request. Just by way of example, let's say you wanted to check in some documentation and it was written in a markdown format. You could use a GitHub action to lint, right, to validate the syntax of the markdown. There's automation when it interacts with human beings. Folks typically refer to that as a bot, right? So by this I mean software that can leave comments for people, message people, and do some of the actions, a very limited set of actions that a human being might normally do. Of course, in this case, we're talking about pull requests, and specifically a bot that does some of the functions of managing the pull request through its lifecycle. I became interested in this idea of these bots that could manage pull requests, and I spent a bit of time looking around the internet to see what folks were doing, how they were doing it, what sort of software they were using to create these bots. And some of the stuff I found, I sort of coalesced into my own bot that I ran on Heroku. So that's what I'm showing here. This is the main Python file for the initial bot that I wrote in Heroku. But it still wasn't quite where I wanted the project to be. The next iteration of the bot, I decided to move it into Google Cloud. I have some automation here that provisions actually a cloud function. So it takes my Python, and using Terraform, it'll put in some secrets, it'll interact with the environment in Google Cloud. So this Terraform stuff is pretty solid, and I was actually able to take this from another project. The Python for the bot is here. I've got some stuff here. Interact with a pull request. It will, when a pull request is opened, it can add tags to the pull request, it can assign users, it can leave comments, could do more, but essentially I wanted to build the framework, and then we can figure out the rules later, the exact rules. And I think that stuff changes and matures over time. And I can say, git add, and we'll say git checkout. I don't know. Give it some name. 1, 2, 3. And git commit. Give it my password, and there it goes. There we go. Update bot code. Yep, we've got some changes. So it takes a second, but essentially what's happening is the action's going to be over here. So this is the actual cloud function. It was deployed by Terraform, as I mentioned. And what happens is it's going to pull a developer token from the secret manager and use that so that it can access private repos in GitHub. Yeah, so here the bot has said a message to us, right? And also the bot has added a label to the PR. This message here, same GitHub token, but this is from a different project, and I'll probably cover that in the next video. This is actually task results from Tecton. So this is the PR that we just pushed to. So every commit, it's going to log here This is just feedback from the Python that I wrote saying, hey, I did this, I did that, right? Logging. So I talked a little bit about the token. I think the other caveats here are the GitHub action that actually calls the bot installs gcloud because this is running in Google Cloud. It installs the gcloud SDK. That also means that we need the JSON, right? The Google application credentials go into a secret in the repo. You have to add the bot as a collaborator on the repo, and of course the project ID. Google is not going to let us do anything without knowing how to bill us, right? So no surprises there. I'm interested to see over time what sort of things I kind of make it do. I'm also interested in putting the entire thing, taking it out of the cloud function, running the container directly on the Kubernetes cluster, just to see if I can make it a little more compact. And also, why pay for extra stuff? The cluster's already up and running. If this bot is just in a pod on the cluster, I think that's a little more efficient, a little more better use of resources, right? So thanks for watching. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. It was fun to work on, and I'd be interested to talk to other people who are doing something similar.